Let us look at the etymology. So in the etymology, we will be actually looking at how the entire world looked at Arctic. Arctos means in Greek the word bear, and Arcticos means near the bear. So this is how the area that Arctic got its name. And Ursa Major is the Latin word for the bear, mainly the constellation. So if you look at the sky, we can see the Ursa Major, that means the constellation of stars. This is actually an official group of stars. Based on this, people used to call this region as the Arctic region or Ursa Major. And in the Indian Vedic system, this is called as a Saptarishi. That means Riksha means bear. Saptariksha means 7 rishis are present here, and this looks like a bear. And the foreigners people call this as a bow and arrow, that is the Sami people call this as a bow and arrow. And Megale Arctos is the Ptolemy in the Almagest, he had written about Megae Arcos. That means these are all the different ways the Arctic got its name. And here we can see from the Latin word Arcticus, it moved on to the medieval Latin, the same word Arcticus was used, but in the Old French it get transformed into Arctic, and in English it finally settled with Arctic. So there are also other languages people used to call this region. So Turkjush is the Inuit language for Caribou, and Karul Mare is the Romanian term which is for the asterism. The asterism is basically a pattern or a group of stars with a popular name. And in fact, if you look at the Alaska state flag, this symbol actually reflects, that is the Big Dipper they call this, and this is again representing the North or the Arctic region. And in UK and Ireland they call this as a plough, and the Arabian people call this as a 7 daughters of Nash. So different people call different names for the same region. And in fact, if you get into the Greek mythology, according to the legend, the god Zeus had an affair with the beautiful maiden Callisto, that is Ursa Major. So in order to protect her and their sons from his jealous wife Hera, Zeus turned Castillo and Arcas into bears. He then picked up the bears by their short stubby tail and threw them into the sky. So that's the reason they were just in the sky and they never went into the horizon. So that is the reason you can always see when you travel north, these two stars, the north stars are always seen in the horizon, but they never dip into the sea. And here we can see the various constellations. Let us look at some interesting fact about Svalbard and the North Pole. The name Svalbard means cold shores in Old Norse, and Svalbard is classified as an Arctic desert. That means there is no trees in Svalbard, and this has more than 2000 glaciers. Next to Greenland, Svalbard has many glaciers. Svalbard's average temperature range from minus 14 degrees centigrade to plus 6 degrees centigrade in the summer. So it is comparatively warmer than the actual Arctic region. The Arctic terns migrate to Svalbard from Antarctica. That means pole to pole these birds migrate. And the Russian mining town Pyramidion was abandoned in 1998, but then there was a hotel that was reopened in 2013. William Barents, a Dutch explorer, gave the name Spitsbergen, that is sharp peaked mountains, for this particular region. But that Spitsbergen, which is called till 1925, changed the name to Svalbard, which is being used now through the Svalbard Treaty. Under the name of Svalbard Treaty, the archipelago became a visa-free zone. That means terra nullius to all man's land. There is a station, the first Arctic research station, Himadri, is situated at New Alsand at Svalbard. The Global Seed Vault at Svalbard. This was started in 2008 by the government of Norway, the Nordic Genetic Resource Center, Nordgen, and the Crop Trust. The seed vault safeguards duplicates of 1,214,827 seed samples from almost every country in the world. The ball symbolizes international cooperation and solidarity. In fact, everyone knows Santa Claus lives in the North Pole. Thomas Nast first drew Santa Claus, that is on 3rd January 1863 issue of Harper's Weekly. He drew first the Santa Claus picture. And in fact, Santa Claus delivers presents during the Christmas. So everybody knows about this red man. In fact, Google has a Santa tracker. It's a website where you can see where and how the Santa is going.